Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. We are doing a first bullet journal processing video. So if you like watching these kind of videos, keep on watching. All right, guys, welcome back. I hope that this is not a weird setup or however else you're looking at me right now. I can't really tell because I'm not facing you, but I did decide. I slept overnight. I guess if you guys saw that first video of unboxing my Archer and Olive, um, what is this one called? The Something Skies. I just put it up. So if you guys saw that video, this is sort of the next step of this video. Um, we're keeping the box because it's like so cute. You can't be mad at it. So this Arch and Olive is the A5 Majestic Skies. Welcome to my Spanglish. At the same time, I'm like editing my videos. Well, my video for this week on the garden, and I hear myself in the background and watching it at the same time too. Let me show you. See it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Yep. So that's me. So, yep, that's me. I messed up the phone setting for moving the camera for showing you what I was doing. But I'm trying to multitask here. It is Sunday. I'm going to start this video obviously today, but obviously I don't know when I'll finish. So, as you saw in that video, I did get an Archer and Olive for all of my tracking, like my bucket list, my maintenance tracker. What else did I say I wanted? Like my Tombow colors, where we visit, like that kind of stuff in one bullet journal. But as I sat there and thought about it and all that good stuff, I am pretty sure that I cannot do two bullet journals because I went back and I looked and I like everything in one journal. That's why I do my, like right now, I got the Kimbor, and that's what I'm using right now. And as I do things, I'll randomly pick a page, as I, well, not an empty page, but I do everything in my one book. My work, my Bible study, whether we visit somewhere or not. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. Yep. Um, whether I'm budgeting, grocery shopping, what am I making for dinner, if I have a new recipe, appointments, like everything is in this journal. And I'm not sure how I feel. My gardening stuff, like how I'm gonna flip flop back and forth because I've done that before and I've always gone back to one journal. So this thing cost me $41.45 with shipping and whatever, all that stuff included. I think it was $30 for it, if I'm not mistaken. So that being said, I know I said I was gonna do my regular bullet journal from Michaels, and that's why it says 2026 all over it. But I decided that I'm gonna do this one, my catch-all, right? Because this only cost me $5 15 years ago. So let's say I don't like the going back and forth between two journals. I can always go in and put whatever I have here into this journal and toss this if I want, right? So I'm going to do that because I want to say in the past, since 2016, since I've been bullet journaling since 20, I think it's 2016 or 2017, one of those. I've always had one journal for everything. I want to say I've done calendars for work or done a notebook for work, but everything like going back and forth with the two notebook is never worked for me. And Cheryl, you can be my witness to this because she has tried to get me into doing so many different journals, and I can't. My brain does not accept it. So, but since this is just a, like a catch-all bullet journal, and it's not something that I always gonna go into, I'm gonna try it with a $5 journal, and then I'm gonna use this one for my 2026 bullet journal. And I think that's a better idea. Clearly, the only thing is I can't use my stickers like I usually been putting on all my bullet journals. As you can see, they all been decored with my stickers. And what I'm gonna do is, obviously I can't do that to this, but I can do it inside. So like there's a page, not this obviously because it's very pretty, but like on here or over here or in the back, right? Yeah, I can do it in there. Also, I can do it to this one because now I gotta cover the 2026. So I'm gonna use the stickers that I have that I can put on here. Not these. These are supposed to be for here. I love this one. Warning, I'm allergic to stupid people. Love that one. I will put random stickers in this one, and I did take out, I just randomly just grab them from my stash, and then that's the one that I'll do for this one, and then I'll cover it up, the 2026. If anything, I can draw something on here or paint on it with the same, I have acrylic markers. But last night I did go through all of these, if that makes you excited. And I picked out like some kind of layouts that I want to try, and I took pictures of them, which is so funny because, you know, technically I have the actual visual that I can do. And I want to say it's not that bad, right? Like I can do that. But I wanted to keep this one out cuz I wanted to do a Bible study on that one, and I'm gonna start. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk through it. I'll come back if I have to say anything special, but I am gonna pen test this one, and we are gonna color code, sticker this one. So I'll be back. All right, guys. I just want to show you that I'm going through the book. And then I realized that back in 2023, well, I was getting the books that have the things that I want to transfer over to the other book. And I saw that in 2023, I never did my 2023 recap. And I do this every year. So now I'm like, why didn't I do my recap? Well, I am forgiven because it was the time that Lexton had his stroke. So on August, let's see, it was one of these days. Sorry about the background, the kids are in the living room. August 11. I only worked till 12. Lexton had a stroke. So after August 11, our days, our lives totally changed. It was even Bella's birthday that week. I'm surprised I actually did it. We were in a hospital most of the time, almost the whole entire year. Wow. So, yep, I think that's a good reason to clearly not have a recap. So I'm just flipping through right now and looking at what was the big, obviously, moments of our lives in 2023, and I see that Micah was born. So I wanted to go in here and put his weight and all that stuff. Nina passed away. So it was a lot of stuff. So Nina passed away on, and then I have that written down July 22nd. So I'm just putting like that kind of stuff. Nico turned 2. Then Micah was born on July 26th. So July 26th, I want to put that he was 19 inches. And what else do we want to put in there? He's so cute. He looks just like Nico, actually. Oh, I got fruit flies everywhere. His little prayer. So I'm just putting like the big, obviously, things that happen. Obviously, this thing is completely empty. Nico turned 2 on August 2nd. I don't need to put the date. My hours were sporadic because we were technically in the hospital the whole entire time. So I figure I, show you these things. It's very sad, actually. I feel sad right now. That was a tough year. Um, I mean, at one point, I did not even do my Bible verses, is what I saw on some of these. I had to deal with insurances. Oh my goodness. So August 11th, and then I'm gonna put Lexington stroke. I think those were the major things, clearly. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna bore you with this because this is old. Okay, if you don't know this, this is why I love going back to my books. As I'm rehashing like what happened, 8/11 Lexington had the stroke. 8/23 he went full time to rehab. Then between that, um, I can see that I had to cancel the U-Haul because we had a trip to go to Tennessee, which is was here for this weekend. So we canceled everything due to the due to the stroke. It's like, I mean, to go through all this stuff and see like all my notes of like life insurance, all these things that I had to call and take notes in. This is why I love my journals. I mean, it can't be any better. Keeping this and seeing that I did all of this stuff, like Lexington rehab meeting. I mean, it's amazing that I can just go back and see all the stuff that, happened. We ended up writing down, canceling, like that kind of stuff. Wow. Amazing. Just amazing. So if you don't do this, you should try it. I mean, all right, guys, I hope this is not a horrible angle. It's about the best I can do right now. So I brought out the watercolor, and I also have all of my favorite pens that I gravitate to, and I got the stamp. And what I'm gonna do is we are going to take a back page and test all of these out. So let's get started here. So the first one I will try is this Pentel, is the glitter point. Sorry. Here you go. And then actually I'm gonna put you on the other side. Hope this is a better view. That's the Pentel brush. Micron PN tip. This is my favorite whenever I do want a micron pen. If I wait a few seconds, no smudging. This is why I love those pen. The next one is the, okay, don't kill me with my Spanglish, but this one is the Fredo Suke brush pen. That's that one, which is by Tombow. I hope the lighting is okay as well. Don't mind my snacks. The next one is the Uniball 207 Plus. This one is a 0.7 tip. These feel actually really good. I have the same one, Uniball 207 Micro Plus, but this one is 0.5. So it's a little thinner. This one is a 0.5. Actually, this one is a Micro 207. That one was just 207. And I think this one is the one that is like smudge proof, waterproof. Yeah. Now this one is not the Energel pen inside. I get the refill from Pen Jets, and it's the refill for the uni. And I forget I buy them in a big pack. They fit all of my Pentel, but this is the uni. Let me go see if I find it. Okay, so I found it. The refill. I purchased it from Amazon, and it's a Uni SXR7 Jetstream ballpoint pen refill, and it's a 0.7, obviously black, and it's a set of 5. So that's what's in here. This is usually my favorite go-to. Love this pen. Can't find the original pen, but I can find a refill, which is kind of crazy. And I find that it fits perfect in my Energel. And this is 0.7. And this one dries very quickly as well. All right, next, I do use color pencils. So I want to see how it does. It is struggling a bit, but I still can color, I guess, if I need to. Yeah. I'm still able to fill in and color. Obviously, the next one over is the Tombow, but I do want to get a darker color, so I'll be back. Alright guys, found a black one, N15. So this is the Tombow. Ooh, these do nice. And this is N15. And then the other thing I do want to try out is my Pasco, Pasco acrylic pens. So obviously those you do have to let dry because it is a paint. So I will let that dry out a bit. The next thing I have is clearly my gouache paint, and I'm just gonna do something small. I'm so sorry about the lighting, by the way. And we are gonna pick black. Ooh. I do see a little bit of green. Not sure if that's the paint or the actual book itself. That's a little weird. Now I'm gonna try to use maybe a yellow. And just do like, oh, some of this totally smudged. I know the Pentel does smudge, so I should have known better than to watercolor that. Pentel is not water anything, clearly. The Jetstream is, that's why it's my favorite. This Uniball one, I want to say they are supposed to be. I don't know if I ended up just getting some of the ink from the Pentel, so that's horrible. The Subanake and the Micron, they're all should be technically waterproof. I think this one is not, as you can see, is smudging more. So the Uniball 201 is not. And that's why I stopped buying them. But the Micro Uniball 207, the 0.5 is. We know that Tombow is not. Pasco, clearly, it's acrylic. So technically, it should not smudge. Yep, I was gonna say, shouldn't smudge. That's acrylic paint. We know the Tombow does. Let's see, what else do I want to try? Let me make sure I clean my brush very well. Get new water for the watercolor. Here is my cheap watercolor set. I mean, I have a few cheap watercolor sets, but I'm trying to use these out. And watercolor does go a long way. Check out my palette. I did this a couple of years ago. I do have a video when I did build this watercolor set. And let me see, what was the name of the watercolor? Hold on. Okay, so these are Prima watercolors, and I purchased every single color set that she had available, and I just put them all in this big palette, basically, is what I did. It's more convenient for me, obviously, because it's all in one. I did have duplicates. People ask me that all the time. I did have duplicates on the watercolors because clearly some of the palettes did repeat clearly. Um, it repeated the colors, so I just put those in a separate for whenever it does finish up in my palette. I have one more to have. Let's see. And then I did do this for a guide on what color you want to use, kind of thing, which it comes in very good handy. I'm constantly using number 7, which is always this one. Here comes Nico. He's stealing a bag of chips. You want me to open it? Give me. Give me. Alright, guys, sorry about that. As you guys know, Nico is very special. He's autistic, and we have to stop what we're doing just to make sure we please our boy. So, as you know, I love trees. And I don't see the green anymore on here. So that's a good thing. That scared me for a minute. Clearly, my cheap watercolor is actually working, which is great. And then this is my expensive watercolors. And we can do the same thing. And do, oh, if I can open it. Jeez. And these are usually the expensive watercolors. Alright, I had to get the guide. Here's the guide. These are the Winsor and Newton Cotman brand, and obviously these are more expensive than that other brand I just showed you. And we're gonna do you. Let's do a darker green. Do another tree. So I'm a tree lover. Obviously, the more expensive, obviously, moves a little better than the cheaper brand. As you can see, I didn't have to do much. The brush and the stroke did it all, which is great. Also, when it dries out, you can see the difference of the pens, of the paints. So I think that was all the testing. I gotta wait for this to dry out before I can turn it around and show you guys. So I'm gonna dry out and come right back. Okay, this thing is still trying to dry, but I don't want to wait anymore. So I'm also gonna test out the stamp. And today's date is August 31st of 2025. And I'm just gonna stamp it out how I usually do my stamping when I do stamp, because I do want to make sure I get the right motion of what it's supposed to be like. I got this stamp years ago and I still got, I think, 4 more years to use it before I gotta buy another one. So that was kind of cool. All right, so I'm gonna flip it over now and show you guys the other side. And as you can see, these pages are thick. Like some stuff bent a little bit. Only if you focus a lot, there is a little ghosting, but not too bad. Not too bad for watercoloring, and not too bad for using all these, even the acrylic Posco marker. So that's great. I am actually very happy about that. So I'm gonna wait for the rest to dry out, and then I will start planning. Obviously not 2026, but I do have some stuff that I think I did on this one that I do want to transfer over. So, which is, I want the paint to go through. Let's see. I did do every month on this one, which is something that I have to do again, but I'm all right with that. So I will do the same thing. There was like an idea of what I wanted to try to attempt on my first week, but I will not be doing it that way. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I also wanted to do a garden setup. So, did I do that? Oh, yeah, right here. The garden setup. I want to do it again like this because I am going to start thinking of what I'm doing for 2026. I'm sorry, you guys can't even see that. So, I am going to transfer over the garden. And I will be doing the monthly on the first few pages. I do have to count the grid lines, so I will do that now. And then start working on the monthlies. And I will not bore you with that. All right, guys, I counted the rows. So we got 38 down, 26 across, and then these were 28 across. So it's 2 lines more on this one than this one. And then 38 down, I got one more going down on this one than I do on this one. This one only had 37. I count all my squares all the time because it gives me sort of like a way of guiding myself for whenever I want to do grid lines. So obviously 38, I usually split this in half. If I do 38 divided by 2, 19. So now I know that this is half point, right? So then I'll do one of these because this is my half point. 26, and I do that, the half, and it's 13. So I will do a line going down to tell me that this is my half point from above. I do usually 38 divided by 4 is, no, 38 divided by 4 is 9. So 3, 6, 9, it's here. And then I usually pour 4 sections, and then 3, 6, 9. And then I do the same thing here. This is another 4 section, 3, 6, 9. And I'll do the same thing here. And then 3, 6, 9. And then I'll do the same thing here. And then technically these two gives me like a title form. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If I want to do the 26 divided by 4 is 6. So I can do 6 here. 3, 6 gives me this. 3, 3, 6 brings me here. And then 3 and 6 brings me here. And then this would be like a title. And this might look crazy to you, but it makes sense to me, and I'll still come back and do the guiding. I usually come back here and use this as a guide for like whatever I want to do for planning. Technically speaking, the watercolor doesn't bother. I don't come back to see which watercolor did better because it doesn't bother me either way. And the pens, I got my favorites, so I gravitate towards the Uniball and the Uni CRX. And the Micron are my 3 that I gravitate towards. This Unibar 207 Plus, I've been using it on my prayer journal. And I usually don't watercolor or do anything in that book. The Fudanasake is usually my titles and stuff, so I still use that. Or I use the Tombos, but I know for a fact that the Tombos are not waterproof. So if I want to do some kind of watering, some kind of painting, watercolor, I know I have to paint first, then do the Tombow, but FYI, the Tombow will smudge with your paint no matter what. So I usually will end up using the Fudanasake for my titles instead of the Tombow, so it's all right. So even though it looks like a hot mess, it's all right because it makes sense to me. I'm all right with it. I usually split it in half. I know that these will be my 4 squares if I need it. I know that this, like this up here and this up here would be my half if I need it. I could divide the 38 into 3, but and then that gives me 12, which brings me to here. And would I do that? 12, 24, and it'll bring me here. And then 36, and then I still have 2 remaining. So I could leave 2 empty spaces I could do the 3 like this, but I don't want to do it like that. 3, 6, 9, 12 will be here. 3, 6, 9, 12 will be here. Not here. So now I gotta erase this. If I can find an eraser. Because now I'm starting backwards. Because I know that the top piece is going to be a title. And then 3, 6, 9, and 12. And then I have 2 for a title on the top, which is fine by me. And then I can split the pages into 3. So that's not bad if I want to do a daily, and change my work around. So I usually just flip through and say, which way do I want to go? And I can tell by where I split it, because I split it the same way every single time, to the point that I don't even do it anymore. I'm just doing it for you guys. All right, so that's it for tonight, because I'm getting tired. And then tomorrow, I will start doing the actual monthlies on here. And I'll figure out what am I going to do. I'm going to do the garden, which will be here. And then a monthly in each page. So I'll do that tomorrow. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.